Hey everyone, welcome back. If you think the Sega Mega Drive is just for nostalgia, think again. Today we're diving into the top 12 modern homebrew games on Mega Drive that are absolute hidden gems. By the end of this list, you'll want to revisit your cartridge collection or fire up your emulator. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and let's get started. Tanglewood. Tanglewood begins with a calm but eerie setup. You control Nim, a small fox-like creature trying to survive a mysterious forest at night. The game blends platforming with logic puzzles and stealth, asking you to use environmental mechanics and simple NPCs to progress. The visuals are atmospheric, with hand-drawn pixel layers that give every screen a storybook feeling. Sound design and music are gentle but haunting, which fits the lonely, exploratory mood. The developers built the game using authentic Sega tools, and that fidelity shows in how the game feels native to the hardware. Controls are responsive and precise, making tricky platforming feel fair. Where it can frustrate some players is pacing. The game leans towards slow exploration over constant action, so if you want non-stop thrills, it might feel languid. A few puzzles demand careful observation, and if you rush, you'll miss subtle clues. Still, the strong atmosphere, thoughtful level design, and emotional payoff make Tanglewood stand out among homebrews. It's the kind of experience that lingers after you turn the console off, and for that alone, it's worth the cartridge dust.
Xeno Crisis.
Xeno Crisis. Xeno Crisis throws you into non-stop alien blasting action as elite marines storm procedurally varied bases. The premise is simple: clear rooms, rescue survivors, and reach the end with your squad intact. Gameplay centers on twin-stick shooting with pickups, grenades, and weapon upgrades that change your tactics. Pixel art is sharp and detailed, with large boss sprites and flashy explosions that pop on a CRT. The soundtrack keeps adrenaline high and matches the arcade tempo perfectly. Co-op play is a major plus. 2 players can coordinate to clear waves and revive each other, which amplifies the fun. Difficulty can spike in later levels, making resource management crucial. Ammo and lives are precious, so every encounter matters. Some players find certain weapons less useful, and occasional screen clutter during bullet storms can obscure incoming threats. Yet the balance of classic arcade feel and polished modern touches makes Xeno Crisis a must-play for anyone craving arcade chaos on original hardware. It delivers exactly what it promises: tight shooting, killer presentation, and a satisfaction that comes from surviving impossible odds with style. Demons of Asteborg. Demons of Asteborg puts you in the boots of a knight on a quest to free a kingdom cursed by dark forces. The game mixes side-scrolling action with exploration that sometimes tips into Metroidvania territory, letting you find upgrades and return to earlier zones. Its gothic pixel art gives each stage a distinct personality, from moonlit castles to haunted woods. Combat blends melee strikes with magical abilities, and the progression system lets you customize defenses and attack patterns. Bosses are varied and often require pattern learning, which rewards careful play. One downside is that a few stages can feel repetitive, and some platforming segments rely on tight timing that can frustrate players used to looser mechanics. Additionally, playing on certain flashcarts or emulators has produced rare compatibility quirks, though patches and community fixes address most issues. Still, Demons of Asteborg stands out because of its confident design and emotional beats in storytelling. The pacing occasionally slows, but the overall package offers a satisfying adventure with real depth. Fans of atmospheric action titles will find plenty to like, and the ambition on display is impressive for a homebrew project. Coffee Crisis. Coffee Crisis takes a wonderfully silly premise and turns it into a solid beat-em-up. 2 baristas defend Earth from aliens with caffeine-fueled fists. The narrative is goofy in the best way, leaning into metal music tropes and coffee culture for charm. Gameplay harks back to arcade classics. punches, throws, and special moves combine into satisfying combos that are easy to pick up and fun to master. Visuals are colourful, with character sprites that express personality in each hit. The soundtrack pumps heavy riffs that match the game's over-the-top attitude. Where it falters a bit is in variety. After a few hours, the enemy types and stage patterns can start to repeat, and the depth of combat doesn't reach modern brawler complexity. Also, difficulty balance varies across stages, sometimes spiking unexpectedly. Despite those small issues, Coffee Crisis nails a unique voice and plays with genuine joy. It's the kind of game you load for a short, noisy session and end up grinning. If you want to beat 'em up with personality and solid retro feel, this is a fantastic pick. The Cursed Knight. The Cursed Knight drops you into a dark sci-fi fantasy world as Calder, a genetically modified knight tangled in a story about gods, machines, and revenge. The game blends run-and-gun action with platforming and heavy boss encounters that demand pattern recognition and tight execution. Visuals aim high, with detailed backgrounds and dramatic lighting that push the Mega Drive look into cinematic territory. Weapons and power-ups are varied, allowing different approaches to stages and bosses. A password system helps with progress, which is great for hardware play sessions. The biggest critique is difficulty. Several boss fights require repeated attempts and exact movement, which can be punishing for casual players. Some hit detection moments also feel unforgiving, requiring precise timing that may frustrate newcomers. Yet challenge is part of the intended experience, and overcoming these hurdles produces real satisfaction. The world building and audio-visual presentation are excellent, and the game's mix of sci-fi and dark fantasy is refreshing. For players who love tough retro action and a story with serious stakes, The Cursed Knight delivers memorable encounters and plenty of style. Arcargis Escape. Arcargis Escape puts you in a drilling mech on Mars to rescue trapped miners and uncover a corporate conspiracy. Gameplay centres on digging through layered terrain, managing speed and heat, and navigating hazards with a small but effective toolset. The design cleverly uses depth and momentum. Drilling too fast can cause collapses, while going too slow wastes time and resources. The minimap and run lock mechanic give players control over risky manoeuvres, and stage design mixes tense rescues with puzzle-like routes that demand planning. Stylistically, Arcargis Escape blends retro sci-fi art with crisp animations, creating a charming, believable red planet. The story gradually reveals corporate malfeasance, giving the rescue missions emotional weight beyond arcade objectives. A shortcoming is that collision and hit detection sometimes feel inconsistent, especially in tight tunnels where sprites overlap. Also, the niche premise means players expecting standard platforming might be surprised by the slower, tactical tempo. Still, the unique combination of drilling mechanics, rescue objectives, and a well-paced story sets Arcargis Escape apart. It's a thoughtful, creative title that rewards patient players who enjoy methodical, mechanical problem-solving. 16-Bit Rhythm Land. 16-Bit Rhythm Land is a charming rhythm collection that folds console-era musical magic into a variety of minigames. Built around original chiptune compositions, the title offers multiple modes that test timing, pattern recognition, and reflexes through short, enjoyable challenges. The audio design is the star. Composers leaned into FM synthesis to replicate a classic Genesis sound palette, and the tracks are catchy and varied. Visuals are playful and synchronized to beats in satisfying ways, giving each minigame a distinct look and feel. Because each challenge is concise, it's perfect for quick sessions or party play. Drawbacks include niche appeal. If rhythm mechanics don't click with you, some modes might feel repetitive, and the fact that hardware compatibility has been finicky on certain clone systems. Also, the number of modes and tracks gives plenty to do, but some players may crave more depth or longer campaigns. Even so, the title does exactly what it sets out to do: celebrate retro music while delivering fun, accessible gameplay. For folks who love soundtrack-first experiences and want to jam on a Mega Drive, 16-Bit Rhythm Land is a delightful rhythm playground. Mini-Planets. Mini-Planets offers a creative twist on platforming by setting action on tiny spherical worlds that wrap as you move. You control Kusha, who must collect keys and crystals across a linked system of mini-planets to save her family. This spherical geometry creates surprising platform puzzles and traversal challenges that keep movement fresh. The game's levels are compact but cleverly designed, encouraging exploration and clever leaps that exploit the curved surfaces. Pixel art is bright and whimsical, and the soundtrack suits the playful tone. The developer openly shared the source, reflecting an indie spirit and community-friendly approach. Some players find the wraparound mechanics initially disorienting. Jumping direction and momentum require a short adjustment period. A few console revisions caused sprite glitches on certain hardware, but updates addressed many of those issues. Despite a learning curve with movement, Mini-Planets rewards patience with inventive design that doesn't overstay its welcome. Its originality alone makes it worth trying, and the polished presentation shows care in every detail. If you enjoy platformers that break the standard mold, Mini-Planets is a refreshing and charming pick. Phantom Gear. Phantom Gear centers on Josephine, who dons her father's armor to fight a mysterious ocular force. The game blends action platforming with an upgrade system that lets players acquire permanent enhancements as they progress. Combat emphasizes agile movement and tactical weapon use, while exploration reveals upgrades and hidden areas. The sprite work is fluid, with detailed animations that bring enemies and bosses to life. Backgrounds are richly layered, giving stages visual depth that feels impressive on Mega Drive hardware. The pacing keeps momentum steady between platforming sections and combat encounters, and the demo shows promise of a full-length, polished title. A con for players right now is that only a demo or limited release build is commonly available, so the full experience may not be complete for everyone. As an ambitious project, parts of the design are experimental, which can make difficulty curve uneven in places. Still, Phantom Gear's core is strong. It has personality, solid mechanics, and clear potential. For fans of character-driven action that respects old-school roots while adding modern touches, Phantom Gear is definitely one to watch and play where available. ZPF. ZPF is one of the freshest entries on the Mega Drive scene, released in 2025 with excitement from collectors and fans. The project looked to push hardware limits while delivering polished gameplay and presentation. Early impressions praise detailed art and ambitious level work. The title's concept blends familiar retro mechanics with modern design sensibilities, promising tight controls and stage variety suited to long play sessions or quick runs. Community enthusiasm is high because new high-quality releases remain rare, and ZPF aims to justify that hype with production value and creative ambition. Naturally, as a recent release, ZPF may present distribution challenges. Cartridges often sell out, and getting a physical copy might require pre-orders or monitoring small indie stores. Also, because it's new, some minor bugs or balancing issues may emerge in early copies, though the developer appears responsive to feedback. Still, the energy around ZPF suggests a polished, exciting title that respects classic Mega Drive feel while introducing fresh ideas. For anyone collecting modern releases or wanting to play something brand new on original hardware, ZPF is worth tracking down and experiencing firsthand. Earthion. Earthion arrives as a modern shoot-'em-up with pedigree. It has contributions from known composers and pushes classic shmup design with modern sensibilities. The game emphasizes tight ship control, varied bullet patterns, and musical cues that enhance gameplay flow. It's visually striking, using rich parallax and detailed enemy sprites to fill the screen without losing clarity. The soundtrack complements the action, and elevates the stage experiences. There was a community concern when an unofficial ROM leaked, and developers asked players to wait for official releases so creators receive support. This highlights a practical downside. New cartridge projects can be pricey and limited in quantity, which makes buying official copies important for sustaining developers. Gameplay-wise, Earthion may demand high precision and memorization for later levels, which could be tough for newcomers to shmups. However, for fans of the genre who value music, visual design, and carefully tuned difficulty ramps, Earthion offers a modern take on a classic formula. Support the creators by picking official releases when possible, and you'll enjoy a polished, love-driven shoot-'em-up. Debtor sits on the experimental end of the homebrew spectrum, blending resource management and risk mechanics into a retro-styled package. Instead of straightforward platforming or shooting, this game uses an economic metaphor as core gameplay. Players manage resources, debts, and risky choices that influence progression and survival. The premise is intriguing because it invites strategic thinking, unique among most Mega Drive titles, giving weight to decision-making and long-term planning. Presentation is intentionally minimal, which places more emphasis on mechanics and player choices. That design makes the game thoughtful and unusual, perfect for players who want something reflective and different. A downside is that Debtor's niche approach reduces its mass appeal. Some players seeking immediate arcade fun may find the pacing too deliberate. Additionally, coverage and reviews are sparse, making it harder to find guidance or community tips. Still, Debtor's originality is its best asset. It challenges assumptions about what retro games should be and demonstrates that the Mega Drive can host clever, serious ideas. For collectors or players seeking something brainy and original, Debtor is an intriguing and rewarding experiment. Marvelous verdict. Alright folks, that was a deep dive into 12 modern Mega Drive homebrew games that seriously deserve your attention. Whether you're into puzzles, shmups, platformers, or weird experimental stuff, there's something here for you. If this list got you hyped, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Which one are you playing first? Thanks for watching and game on!